What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Up, and welcome back to another episode of Boss Talks. And to the right of me, I got my homegirl.
Serena.
Tell us about yourself.
I'm from the Bronx. We went to school together. My Instagram is SoWavyS. You
Add
can
her,
follow
y'all.
me.
Yes. Make sure you guys add her. And today's topic, y'all, is 50-50 in 2024. Can you even believe that statement? Would you ever believe that statement? 50-50 in 2024.
Honestly, I never thought it would be that important today. I feel like it's talked about a lot. And I feel like I don't think it
Definitely
should be a topic.
oversaturated.
Yeah. I feel like now everyone cares about like how much specifically or like the quantity that they put in versus other people. I feel like they're always comparing who's doing what and how they can benefit the other person.
Okay, so I would ask you now, you don't think that's essential for somebody to live in the economy we have nowadays?
I think that it's only important to some people. If that's your mindset, yeah. I feel like when you feel pretty secure financially in any kind of way, any perspective, if you feel secure, I feel like you're not really worried about it as much typically. I think everyone has to talk about finances at some point when you get really serious with someone, if you think you're going to settle down. But I feel like for it to be such a conversation and to be on every single podcast, it's kind of crazy.
Well, I don't think 50-50 is really a necessity nowadays. I think everybody is oversaturating the dating pool, just constantly asking about 50-50-50-50. But I think it is necessary to have a partner in today's economy. You have to have somebody that you can rely on, not just emotionally or physically, but also financially. And you have to be able to pick up on some bills. You can't just be sitting there looking pretty. I'm sorry. If your looks can pay, you be still putting out money for them bills, regardless.
I think that kind of says a little bit more about what your experience is with certain women. Because if you're dating someone maybe mostly for their looks and that becomes an issue, I feel like that's more based off of what you were prioritizing personally. Because I feel like when you're talking to someone, you kind of get a sense of like what they're about. You usually have those discussions earlier on. Or you even know by their actions. Like if they're not really ever giving you gifts or helping you out just because, like you knew that from the jump. And you shouldn't expect them to change necessarily.
I'm not saying that as it's the only thing they need to do, but man,
So not just looking pretty, like you think that's all.
nah, I'm not going after just the pretty girls. I'm going after the girls that have some type of mental stability. But nowadays, it's hard to find that.
I don't know, but
Everybody wants to
also,
be Instagram famous. Everybody
yeah,
wants to be just sitting around doing nothing.
I guess
Get
if
up and
that's,
work.
yeah, if that's your experience, I don't know. Personally, I don't ever have like the 50-50 conversation for me. Like, I buy my things, I buy what I gotta buy, whatever. But I do expect someone to take me on a date and pay for it. Like, I'm not expecting them to say 50-50. Can I pay it? Yes. If they're like, I'm not doing it, sure, that's fine. But I probably won't go on a second date with you, you know?
Okay.
Because I know what I'm looking for. If I want someone who's gonna court me from the jump, it doesn't really matter what we're gonna do later. Because when I'm in a relationship, like, obviously, it's gonna be more of a partnership. You have to do more in a relationship.
So,
But from the jump,
all right. So, would you even want a percentage, or if there
what do you
is a
mean?
percentage, like what would the percentage be? If not
What
50,
do I think the
yeah.
quantities?
Like if not 50, like do you not even talk about it? Do you not even care?
I don't think that for me it would be quantified because I feel like it depends on the situation. Like you said originally, like in this economy, it's because this economy is bad. Everyone feels like a little bit broker than normal. I feel like personally, I think
Mm,
everyone's struggling a little bit. Totally understandable. Like that's
yeah.
just how the economy is. So if I was in a relationship with someone, if they're doing really bad, like I got you a little bit. If I'm doing really bad, you got me a little bit. But I feel like it shouldn't be a quantified thing. I feel like it shouldn't be measured in that way. I feel like it should be in general if they're helping you to the point where you feel good and you're helping them to the point where they feel good. It doesn't really matter about the percent because some people don't expect as much as others. You know?
That's true. I can agree to that. I can agree to that. Okay,
Sorry, I don't know if I'm chatting.
you're not. But so on a first date, should a man split the bill, or
Well,
does it depend? Like
I
if it's
think it kind of
something
depends.
that's a middle ground between the two, or if somebody asks you out on a date, you expect them to pay for everything.
If someone asks me on a date, if someone asks me on a date, I expect them to pay for whatever it is. Not to say that I won't just randomly pay for something while we're out just because I'm trying to like show my appreciation. But if you're courting me, I expect you to want to pay for it. And if you don't have the funds, I feel like you should have set up the date to where you could afford it. Like, you want to do a picnic, you get some food, you cook some food, you bring it on the picnic. That does not cost much at all. Like, you could do that
It's
if you
that
can't
simple,
afford it.
guys.
But if you're asking someone on a date, I expect you to pay. Even if I was to ask someone on a date, which I don't, and I probably won't, but if I ask someone on a date, I'm paying for it. Because I feel
So
like
women,
I asked you. Like, I would do it for
guys,
my friends, so,
don't
you know,
expect it, guys.
yeah.
Don't ever expect the lady you like to ask
Yeah.
you out on a date.
But same for women. If women are going out around asking people out on dates, like, even if you're not heterosexual, whatever the case may be, if you're asking someone out on a date, I think you should pay for it.
Let
Doesn't
the
matter if you're a
community.
girl or a guy, because women do it too.
Oh,
Women be asking people out.
really? I don't know about that. Tell us about your
It's
experience with
true.
that.
It's true. No,
Do they be
okay.
more aggressive than the guys when they approach you?
Um, Not more aggressive per se. I feel like it's a different approach. It depends. I feel like I feel like that's not the topic, but I feel like that's not the conversation. But
We can
women
make a little
do.
segue.
Women, yeah, women do pay for dates, and they be the ones bringing the flowers, bringing gifts on the dates.
Oh, so you feel like they apply
Actually,
more pressure?
yeah, I think women apply more pressure for first dates. Even like some of my friends, like even just friends, like I feel like they'll apply more pressure sometimes,
Oh wow, guys,
just off the
do
jump.
better. Do better.
This is gonna bring me into a whole another conversation.
I we'll step away from that for now. Um, all right. So if a man's paying all the expenses, right,
Hmm.
then what should a woman offer him?
If a man is paying all the expenses, well, okay.
Everything.
So first, from the jump, I feel like the type of man who's paying for everything because he wants to usually isn't expecting that back from a woman. Usually, it's because she offers something different in a different aspect, whether it's her support, her motivation, her ideas, her planning, like whatever the case may be. Whatever it is, say she does cook and clean. I don't think that has to be the case. I don't think it's always like money for chores because chores winds up being more work, I think personally. But I think in general, someone who's looking for someone who's supportive and someone who's motivating and someone who helps get it done always, that's not always money, you know?
That's true, but that's what most of the girls or women in this generation do look for.
I
They
feel like,
would seek that out if they could get that. Oh, they're jumping at it.
well, I think anyone, I
Even if
think,
there's a lack of emotional support
yeah.
or physical, even like it's just something is lacking, but the financial is there, they'll still
Hmm.
take it.
I feel like that definitely, well, one that's definitely specific to a type of person who preferences that over everything, who wants security more than anything. But I feel like I had this conversation with my coworker recently, and we were talking about in general. I don't think 50-50 is always 50 money, 50 money, like 50% of the bills, 50% of the bills. Some people go for someone who has abundance in a different area of their life, but is not paying for anything because they have it. That's the point. Most people who have money are usually not going for someone who specifically is going to pay all that back to them. You
That's
know,
true.
because it's not about that for them. Some people are looking for something more. You feel me? So, for instance, if and it's also I feel like everyone's always worried about the money part. Like 50-50 could also be like conversation. It could be helping with chores and stuff like that, taking initiative, bringing you on dates, making you feel good, making you like motivated. Like, you don't think that
That's
counts?
true.
I feel like everyone's
That
always worried
counts.
about the money aspect, but it's
It's
like it's
because
just
money
the
runs this
economy.
world. That's why.
Yeah.
If you can't think about the money, sad to say, is like then you won't be out here on the street.
I feel like I always think about it like everyone should kind of center themselves first in a way. Like you should feel at least a little secure, no matter what, no matter who you're with, whatever situation you're in. You should always feel secure.
Yeah.
So you should always have it for yourself, and
Love
then
yourself, Scott.
yeah, and then whatever you give is because you want to give it, not because you expect the other person to do the same in the same way. If you're giving, you should be receiving, but it doesn't have to be in the same exact way. People have different love languages too, in my opinion.
Well, you have to find the person that's compatible with you.
Yeah.
Like, just don't. go out there loving on everybody. That's where people mess up, and people fall into the traps of, sad to say, the blessings of having a child, of a person they really don't know. Happens a lot, but
Okay.
that's a different story for another day.
Yeah, I feel like this.
Um, why and how did we even get to this point of being unwanting to have a partner, someone to share responsibilities with?
I feel like for me, like even when I was talking about my friends going hard for me, like I
Uh-huh.
feel like a lot of things can be satisfied by different types of relationships in your life, whether it's from your family or your friends, you know. So if a partner that I'm choosing to get involved with, if they can't offer anything for my life, then it's like I'd rather just hang out with my friends, hang out with my family,
Mm.
and just chill by myself because I could enjoy my own company, you know, but not everyone who I decide to go on a date with, I'm gonna enjoy their company, you know, or they're gonna help me learn anything. Like
Yeah.
sometimes you go meet people and it doesn't feel worth it, you know.
Me personally, I agree with everything you said, but I don't know. This generation is completely devoid of emotional and spiritual to aspect because they don't even value anything but money. But they're devoid of knowing how to have a partner, knowing how to sustain a relationship because they're lacking so much emotionally.
I don't know.
You
Personally,
you might be good, but I'm just speaking as a generation. That's why we see so many people alone.
mm,
And it's not because they don't want to be in a relationship, it's because they can't sustain a relationship.
I agree. I clicked it. Does that
No,
make
that's fine.
sense? Okay. I agree to an extent that a lot of people are focused on money, but I feel like that's really just in my opinion, it's like a lack mindset. I feel like when you're super hyper, we talked about me over analyzing things in general, and sometimes that'll cause me to think too much and not act as much, and so that'll hold me back and it stagnates me. I think the lack mindset comes in when you're so focused on getting something that you're not also appreciating the point you're at and the process you're going through.
Yeah.
And I feel like when you're so focused on something, it's because you don't have it. If you
Yeah.
if you feel wealthy, you feel me, you appreciate what you have, it's more fulfilling than always like chasing the bag, like 24/7. Like I feel like your life, your quality of life, it just changes. I don't know. I feel like when you're focused on everything life has to offer, we're only here 100 years max, and you're worried about money.
You enjoy more.
I don't know.
You feel more sustained or you
Yeah,
feel more fulfilled.
yeah.
I know what you mean. I can understand that. I, I think everybody yearns for that. To just be able to sit back, relax, and drift off into the day, sunset. I think that's everybody's dream.
But that's not what I said. That's not what I said. I didn't say to just sit back and do nothing.
Well, but that's how I took it.
So me saying that, okay, I think it's important. Obviously, it's important to have enough money to live, to survive.
Hmm.
That is obvious. That's why I said that everyone should be financially secure in general, in any sense. However, you're getting it, as long as you're secure by yourself, that's cool. But for you to always be focusing on money 24/7 is not crazy. Like,
It's
I
not.
get it. I get it. Money is important. We should always be working towards like sustaining ourselves. But I think you're experiencing people who are only focused on money, maybe because that's your world that you live in. Because, I mean, I'm sustaining myself just fine, but, and I might do an extra shift here and there, you know, I might put in extra work, but that's not my life, you know? My job is not my life, my career is not my life.
I'm not saying my career is my life. Of course not. But I'm just saying you gotta do enough to get the bag. Of course you have to, do what makes you happy. That's
Mm-hmm.
why I have this podcast talking to you guys at home, having conversations. Because just sitting back and staying stuck at work is unfulfilling. That's why I say you want to be fulfilled in life.
Mm-hmm.
Getting the bag is part of fulfillment. That's how I sustain this life.
Hmm.
So I agree. That's why I said I agree with you, but you still gotta get the bag.
I think yes, you obviously have to get to the bag. Like we can't, you can't just live free for the rest of your life. Like
I,
that's not the world we live in. We're in America. It's a capitalist society.
of
That's a
course,
standard. That's already evident. I feel like that's more the context. But I feel like when you compare what I said to doing to laying back and doing nothing, it's not the same thing. What I'm saying is a lack mindset is when you feel like you don't have, so you have to always get. That puts you in a constant loop as well. Like we were talking about this loop
that's
that
true.
people
We
get
want to
stuck
break
in.
the wheel.
Like you should be
That's
able to
true.
be dynamic. You should be able to focus on money, but also know how to prioritize balancing your social
Hmm.
life, your mental
Hmm.
health, all these things.
That's very
Life
true.
is not just about money, is what I'm saying. So I
That's a
feel like
fact.
that's why I'm like the 50-50 conversation is had when people are in a lack mindset, personally.
So you guys heard it here. Stop talking about 50-50. Let's just love on people that love us, right?
Mm-hmm. And if the money doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But just move on. You don't have to judge people for it
Still find somebody that can help sustain your lifestyle. It's okay.
if you can.
No, don't try your best to live better than how you did as a child. I think that should be everybody's
Yeah,
goal.
yeah,
So to have that, money is
yeah,
needed.
yeah. Money's it's important. We live in America, like it's important. That's for sure.
But I don't know. Do you have anything else you want to talk about besides 50-50 with him?
Okay, I personally think that okay, this was we kind of branched out into this earlier, but
Mm-hmm.
like I think that your friends and your family can really fulfill the sense of like love that you would need for the rest of your life. Like I don't think you need romantic love. Maybe I'm like a romantic or something, but like I don't know. But like I personally feel like they could fulfill all those things because we just have a lack of community. I feel like a feeling of community
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, and I feel like that's why we need partnerships. That's why we want partnerships.
I agree with that, but I think having an actual like one-to-one physical partner
Hmm.
is different than those type of relationships. That's something that you're even more intimate than friends, mother, father. Like that's what your mother and father have. That's what you
Yeah,
want to achieve. That's a different level of intimacy.
that's
That's
true.
why I think having a partner is so important, and having a partner that you can sustain a lifestyle with, sustain a happy lifestyle. You don't want to be miserable in your life. So for that, you need to be able to have a conversation with them. You need to be able to talk it out. You need to be able to work through the arguments. Arguments is gonna happen. That's regular in any relationship, but you can't let that argument destroy the relationship. From you can't go outside of your relationship and step out. From you have to be able to be faithful. That's all part of being sustainable in a happy relationship. So I think a partner is necessary. So yes, a village, a family, friends, mothers, fathers is necessary, but it ain't like that type of
Mm.
love.
Also, like sad to say, but like your family, like they leave, like they go, they do their own thing.
Yeah,
They eventually they're getting older. You know, I don't like to put things out there like that,
yeah,
but
God forbid.
they go. Like your partner, I guess, does fulfill something because you also probably stay with them longer
Yeah,
throughout
if
life.
you choose them properly,
Yeah.
make sure you guys choose them properly, please. We don't want to add to the divorce rates that's already climbing at a ridiculous rate.
How do you feel about marriage?
I
Oh, how
agree
do you
with
feel about
marriage.
like? Okay, do you feel like when you get into a marriage, you have to have like a prenup of like off the bat? Like, what's going on? How do you feel about that?
Mm,
Since we're talking about 50-50.
it depends because my partner is also gonna have her own money.
Mm-hmm.
So if she's ready to have that split down with me too, like you gonna have some of my money, I'm gonna have some of yours. It's not going one way. Oh no, no,
Mm-hmm.
no. And if you don't want that, then prenup is beneficial for both parties.
I think someone talked about in general, it's important to like have a written contract about what happens after
Someone
because oh, it's important in general to have like a contract about what happens after if you guys do divorce just because it's better you guys work it out than the government just decides on their own.
that's
So
another thing. But that's
yeah,
why you have to be able to choose your partner properly.
yeah, let's see if you can work that
Because
out.
some people don't know how to work it out without becoming handsy and violent and sometimes like disrespectful.
Yeah.
or involved in law enforcement.
I feel like it's important to know how to pick your partner, but I couldn't imagine like for because I'm nowhere near ready for a marriage anytime soon.
I
That's just
agree.
not where I'm at. And I feel like I wouldn't know like how this person, how I would discern whether this person is the person for me the rest of my life type thing. Like I feel like that's so hard to determine.
That's a
I
tough
feel
one.
like you have to know
That's
them
the
in like
truth.
so many different ways.
You have to be able to vet them. You have to have family vet them too. You have to have everybody involved.
But then also people talk about having everyone involved in your relationship is not good for your relationship too. So it's like,
Depends how close are you to these family members.
mm,
I don't bring family, just any family members around. I bring the closest family members around.
that makes sense.
Family members that you're gonna see on a constant basis.
That makes sense because they know you
Exactly.
and they probably have like a slightly idealized version of you in their head. So they'll find someone that will help that person.
And they understand your mindset. They
Hmm.
understand how you think. They understand your ticks, the things that make you upset, the things that get you mad. So they'll know how to vet that person out. Say like, nah, that's not gonna be good for you.
That makes
Like
sense.
if it's somebody that loves you, somebody that knows how to conversate with you, they're gonna be like, nah, cause that person is not for you.
Mm.
Simple.
That makes sense. That's valid. I'll be thinking about that when I'm vetting when I'm vetting people out.
I hope I helped you guys at home here at Boss Talks. Facts. But any other questions?
um,
Anything you want to ask the people at home? Make sure you guys comment down below. Any other questions, topics? Here, Dr. Upper, here to help.
it was nice. It was nice out here. It was nice hearing a different perspective. Almost got a little emotional.
It's okay.
Mm,
It's all right. It's good to
but
conversate.
yeah,
Because if you don't let it out, you keep it tucked in, you're gonna explode on a person, and then somebody is not. You might meet a person that is not of the right mindset to deal with that.
yeah,
You could take that however you want to take
yeah.
that.
It's confirmation. There's this butterfly that keeps going around in a loop around us while you say that. That's crazy. Hey,
But hey, guys, we'll holla at y'all. It's been your boy Upper, Serena,
later.
Boss Sauce.
Hey, Nikki G.
Yeah, see me drippin', got me rockin' all the latest shit. I'm on my own, cause niggas on some hate shit. And shorty buggin' if she think I'm on some Wayne shit. Keep different bitches, I ain't really with that Dane shit. Cause once you figure out, that's when it hits the fan. It be the closest niggas that'll probably take the stand.